to inspire you and help you make the most out of life and love. Welcome, Tara Heaton.
Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I am delighted to be with you.
Well, I'm so happy that you're here on Book Talks with me, Elizabeth Ann Atkins of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, because we are so proud that we got to publish your phenomenal memoir. So, Tara, I want everybody to read this book. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you shiver with like revelation. There's surprise twists and turns. And it's just outstanding the way you executed the mission of this idea to tell the story of how you embarked on this journey for your daughter's wellness. So, can you first talk a little bit about who you are and what you do? You've done a TED Talk and you're a speaker, you're a successful business person. So, just give us a little background on Tara.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. My first career, well, oddly, I have a degree in journalism.
Hmm.
And but I didn't stay in journalism. Most of my career was in sales. And as I began to move into sales leadership, not only was I doing presentations, but I was coaching others to tell better stories and be more effective. And during that time, when I was in sales and sales leadership, my daughter contracted a virus that traveled to her brain and caused her to have brain damaging seizures. So while I was a professional and a mother of three, that also catapulted me into the study of the brain, specifically like how we learn, how we trust, how we remember. And this started to really underpin my work. And so today I'm a communications consultant and I've developed a platform called Talk to the Brain. And it helps me to help other people to communicate, whether it's in a presentation or a speech or a sales pitch, or what my real passion is around is helping teams to develop that deep connection for greater impact together. So I offer workshops and keynotes, and I do writing for other people, all to help people to tell better stories more effectively, make deeper connections, and greater impact. So thank you for asking.
Oh, you're so welcome. And your TED Talk is outstanding. I'll put the link here so people can watch it. But Tara, take us back to that moment with Caroline where this whole saga began.
My middle daughter, Caroline, was 12 years old, and I kid you not, our family, we felt like we were living the American dream. I mean, three healthy, social, athletic, doing well in school kids, a very loving husband, whom I still very much love today as my ex-husband. Um, and out of nowhere, Caroline got what the pediatrician called, we always say, the biggest oxymoron in the world, a little virus. And we thought it would just run its course as he thought that it would, but it traveled to her brain and caused her to have something called encephalitis, which is inflammation of the brain. So she went into a coma and she came out of the coma. We thought, of course, our prayers are answered. She's survived, but she couldn't walk. She couldn't hold a hairbrush. She couldn't feed herself. She couldn't write. And all those things she had to relearn. And she did. And she was almost back to herself with just like a slight learning disability. And we thought the worst was behind us, but it also left her with epilepsy. This was over 20 years ago, Elizabeth, and I am still fighting to stop those seizures, which have very gradually over time damaged her brain such that her primary diagnosis today is major neurocognitive disorder, which quite honestly just means very low functioning IQ.
Oh, wow. Well, it's not for you not trying because you went to the ends of the earth. You tried all kinds of alternative therapies. You went to so many doctors. You spent so much money invested in your daughter's wellness. And at the same time, you were trying to run your business and keep your family together. So, can you talk about the stress that this experience put and actually birthed the title of this book, on your family?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought up the title because I will weave it into that. I have learned that what I was doing in the early days of this journey of battling for Caroline is that I was running on something that I have actually coined a phrase for. I call it pleasure stacking. I was running on, back in those days, caffeine, nicotine, and cardio. I was running at top speed, not nourishing my soul, my mind, my body. I was not investing in relationships. And a lot of people back then would say, "Oh, you're so strong. You just keep going." That was not a strength. That was a weakness. That is how I see it today. I did not have the strength to slow down, absorb the pain of my family, and even pay attention to my own. So
Mm.
that's how I was managing this. And I also, and this is where I really hope, while a lot of people, and particularly mothers, maybe they can't relate to my journey, but what I'm about to say, I think will be relatable to so many mothers. And it is this: I didn't think that I had earned the right to, quite honestly, have any joy until I could put my family back together like a Hallmark movie, which is sounds crazy, but I thought if I could just stop the seizures, then all the trauma would dissipate and the family would come back together in this peaceful state where we once were. And that was ridiculous. And but when you're in it, you don't see it. So one day I was realizing my family was away at an event, and I was realizing that there I was with my family, all in a positive mood. And even if Caroline were to have a seizure, which she did, I was letting this moment, this opportunity to smooch my younger daughter's cheeks and cheer on my son at his sporting event, because I didn't think that I had earned the right to have any joy. And then something popped in my mind that day, and this is where the title came from. My youngest daughter, Holly, this was a long time ago. So it used to be that cell phones had family plans. And when she was 13, she got her first cell phone. And when you would talk to Holly, when she was finished talking, she would just hang up the phone. There was no goodbye, no see you later, no I love you. And so I said to her, I said, "Holly, when you go to hang up your phone, you have to kind of tell someone nice talking to you goodbye or something." I said, "Especially your mother." And she said, "Well, I just don't want to waste my minutes." And I said, "Well, honey, we have a family plan, so you don't have to worry about your minutes." And she said, "No, Mom, my life minutes." Yeah. And I thought, how is it that a 13-year-old realized how precious life minutes are? And I thought in that moment, damn right, baby. I mean, life is now, and we have to squeeze all the juice we can out of each and every moment, starting with this one right here with you.
Yes, Tara. I think of this so much. I was in line at the grocery store the other day using the self scanner, which of course was malfunctioning every other scan, and I had to wait for the lady to come and fix it. And I'm standing there mad, like, these are my life minutes. I'm standing here in Kroger. And so I think that all the time it's so profound that your daughter, your young 13-year-old, thought of this because it's profound. And I hope everybody can apply because what it does is makes you savor the moment all the more. And we are always thinking about the past or going into the future, worrying about things. But when we come right back now, we can kiss our kid on the cheek and feel so happy about it, or just, enjoy whatever we're doing. So thank you for that profound message in this book, which, by the
Oh,
way, is so beautifully written. Tara worked for years on this book, and it shows because can you talk about the process, like of actually having the idea and then actually doing it?
yes. So actually, originally the idea was not mine. I write a blog, and I write for clients. So I am a writer. It's even still hard for me to say I am a writer.
Yes.
Um, I had even written an ebook, my Talk to the Brain information, and there are stories in there. And I've always been extremely passionate about storytelling and truly the art of it, like how to bring something to life right inside someone's mind. So those were a part of me, but the deciding to write the book was a little bit different. I have had people for years when they realize it's not just about Caroline, all that the colorful journey of my life, people will inevitably say, "You ought to write a book."
Ooh.
But I never felt that I just wanted to sensationalize or just share trauma, share traumatic experiences. Like that didn't feel right to me. And interestingly, I went to a writer's workshop recently, and these were budding writers, and a lot of these folks, it felt like the hardship Olympics. I've seen that term somewhere. Like everyone was just sharing what they've been through, trying to prove that their story is worthy of being written about. And
Mm,
it wasn't until I realized I had learned some things that I wanted to share forward that I thought that I was in a place where the book needed to be written because I wanted it to truly be a gift to others, not just an entertaining essay full of trauma. So
hmm
it is not that.
Mm-mm. No, it's not. It's not. Like I said, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you really think about life, and it also has romance.
Yes, it does.
And the surprise twist, I am not going to give it away, but there is an LGBTQ plus slant in the book that is really delightful. And the scene where y'all are on vacation and the lady's like, can you please tell me how y'all are related? That was so hilarious. So
Yeah.
all of you, you have to read it because you have to read the whole story for that to make sense. But I was laughing so hard. But then there were other sentences, the way you describe things that just took my breath away, Tara, because it's just eloquent and it shows your heartfelt sincerity, authenticity, and love for your daughters and your son and your ex-husband and the romance that blossoms. Don't want to
Yes.
give that away either, which was so delightful because here's what happens in reading your book. Very grave material talking about the seizures and the trauma and the PTSD and the daily anxiety that you suffered. However, you balance that with the joy, with the revelations, with the romance and humor. And that's what makes this book such a delightful read.
Mm.
Were you even cognizant of doing that as you wrote?
I did something that was just confirmed that I was on the right track recently, and it was in listening to Cheryl Strayed, who wrote Wild. She said the number one piece of advice she can give when you write memoir is to be courageous. And
Yes.
I was trying to be courageous, not to tell my family's private business, because certainly that wasn't the goal. It wasn't even about sharing my private business. The courage came from sharing what was going on in my mind. And some
Mm.
things that we think, I think so many, particularly mothers, think, but we don't say them out loud. That's where the
Ooh.
courage came in. And that was very intentional about being honest about that. I think that you probably know this, but that's one of the themes of the book is truth is freedom.
Mm.
For most of the years when I smoked cigarettes, I was so embarrassed by it that I hid it. I all but lied about it. I was constantly covering myself in sprays and mouthwash. That's not freedom. So, yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. And Tara, as I was reading, as you exposed things about your inner thoughts, about your marriage, about life, about yourself, including the smoking and the drinking the Pepsi, right?
Well, it was Diet Mountain Dew or
Di-
coffee.
And then the lunch you described that was anything but a healthy lunch. I was like, oh my goodness, really? But also the vulnerability that you exhibit when you're talking about the things that were going on with your other daughter, well, and Caroline and your son.
Hmm.
I
Yes,
mean, you do it with no shame. You just tell the story, and it's really, really wrenching material, all of you readers out there. It is really wrenching. It's like, wow, how is she standing up? That's what I was thinking. Like, how are you functioning? And at times you actually did collapse to the floor.
yes, yes.
But here you are, radiant, glowing, on a mission, helping people.
Oh, thank you. That is my greatest hope. I have told my children, all three of them have suffered immensely. And I've said to them that I will make this suffering matter. It will not be for naught. And that this book is really my answer to that. I'm starting on the next one. One of the criticisms of the book is when they get to the end, they want more. Like people are like, well, now I want more about what's going
Oh,
on with the kids now. And so
oh.
I'm getting into it.
Oh, that's exciting because it ends quite a while ago.
Yes.
And I too wanted an update on, well, where's Wilson? What's
Yeah.
Caroline doing now? Where's Holly?
Yeah.
How's the romance and your ex. And how are you?
Right, right. You
Yeah.
know, I think that, again, not to focus on mothers, but I'm a mother, and that's what the book is about. Um, I think part of what I learned is that I watched my mother allow herself to be completely defined by her children and their happiness. And a lot of mothers take almost a pride in that. Like, if you've ever heard the saying, I'm only as happy as my saddest child. Well, here's my challenge to moms who think that way. That is a lot of pressure on your children. To take pride in constantly worrying about them is a barrier to living. And so I asked myself, is this how I want my daughters to grow up? Sacrificing everything until their children are in perfect order? Because that is a lifelong sacrifice. And that's not what I wanted to model for my children. So that's how I started to learn that I can have joy and still, my heart still aches for Caroline. That will be forever, forever what she's lost, but not every minute of every day. And because I have that heartache, it's an energy that I truly have learned to repurpose, especially when I need to. Yeah, like if I have a talk to give and maybe she just had a bad run of seizures or she's disappointed about something, I allow myself to feel that hurt and then I use it. I really use it to give back love to the room, to the workshop, to the team, to the audience.
Wow, that is powerful. So when you do a workshop, what do you mean? Is it about this topic or is it about your other business?
As you know, the book is quite new. So no, it's not about the book, the workshops. Most of my workshops are around leadership development and team building. And the hottest thing right now is storytelling.
Oh.
Because when people learn to tell stories, it builds a team. It allows them to build trust and connection. And it's external communication. So it also helps them to tell stories that really affects the minds of their prospects or their customers. So
Mhm.
storytelling is just that double win. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
I think, Tara, if you ever decided to do a workshop or seminar, especially for mothers, about how to apply all the things you just mentioned, it would be very popular and effective.
I had not thought about that, but that sounds juicy.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, you've had some wonderful book launch events in Atlanta and elsewhere. So, can you talk about the reception that your book is receiving?
Yes, marketing a book and getting PR is, as you know, it is about momentum and it is a lot of work. And I could find myself truly working full time, which I just don't have that luxury to promote the book. But I've done some things right, I think, and I've done some things wrong. The biggest thing that's helped me is every single time someone sends me a message that says, I just finished your book, I'm in tears, I can't believe how whatever they might say, I ask them to review it. And those reviews are powerful.
Hmm.
So that's one of the things that's starting to really pick up momentum. Podcasts are a really great way to help people to learn about your work and share it. And then I'm doing some readings. I've contacted some book clubs. Some book clubs have reached out to me. Um, and then I'm even, sitting at some Barnes and Nobles at a table. We'll see how that goes. I have my first one next Saturday.
Oh, beautiful. That will be amazing. And for those who've read it, you said some people are crying and what else are they saying about your book?
The biggest the biggest thing that probably most of them say is, I could not put this down. Like,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. It just
wow.
like a lot of, and some people thought, well, I'm not really ready to read it. I'm afraid it's going to be sad.
Oh.
It's not. There are sad parts,
Mm-hmm.
but what I hope it is empowering. And
Mm-hmm.
just my biggest hope is that someone chooses to stand a little taller, be a little bit more free and truthful about who they are, their
Mm-hmm.
wins and their flaws.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I've studied the brain so much, and most of us really more due to nurture, not nature, but nurture. Most of us have a tendency either to only communicate negative about ourselves or communicate positive. And there's a balance. And we need to be able to share our wins with our friends in the world and our insecurities and our fears. And that's what I hope that this encourages people to do.
I love that. I love that. And do you encourage other people to write their stories?
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I also encourage the people to get a coach and an editor. Don't try to do it by yourself. You're just too close to it. So,
Mhm.
yes, get it on paper and get some help from a professional. I
Yes.
did
Yeah.
that.
Can you talk about your experience of developing your idea with Trish Lockhart,
Yes.
editor?
Well, before Trish, I had a book coach named Lisa Lilienthal, and she helped me to put it into an outline, which I've way strayed from since then, but it helped me. And she let me see that we really did have something here that might inspire others. So then I spent about 2 years writing this. And then I reached out to Trish Lockhart of Strike the Right Tone. And she said this to me. She said, Tara, these are great stories. Do you want to write a novel or do you want to write a memoir? And, a novel is simply a delightful, juicy story that may or may not inspire people. A memoir is a gift to the reader. That is the focus. And she helped me to take a collection of stories that were funny and heartfelt and had meaning and pull them into not a perfect memoir because it isn't. I could have worked on it 2 more years. But life minutes are now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes, I love it. I love it. Okay, so please tell us what's next for you. The book?
well, I am working on another book, but
Yeah.
I can't rush that either. So I just continue to offer these workshops to do more readings. I love to come and talk to book clubs. I think because my background is in speaking and giving workshops, that I do a little bit more than just show up and read. I give some color to things, have some fun with people. I tell stories that aren't in the book, and
Oh, okay.
those have gotten big laughs. And
Uh-huh.
so, what I'm pulling people together to do is to have some moments of joy,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
walk away feeling energized, just like I do when I have beautiful conversations like this one. So, still
Oh,
workshops, keynotes, writing for people, whether it's copy, um, and I'm working on another book. Yeah.
yes. So, Tara, tell us where people can get in contact with you and learn more if they want you to come and speak or do an interview.
Thank you very much. My website is onpointglobal.com. You can easily find it by talktothebrain.net, and it rolls over, but I didn't want people to be surprised. It rolls over because on point is written in French, which is confusing. So talktothebrain.net. I would love, love, love for you to follow me on Instagram because and it's at Tara Heaton author. That is where I'm really trying to grow in the book community. So it's pretty new, and I would be super honored for any one of you to reach out to me at Tara Heaton author on Instagram. It's probably the easiest way.
I'll put the links here so everybody can have it at their fingertips.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And then, Tara, your book was a #1 new release on Amazon. How did that feel?
Um, Otherworldly. Between that and the reviews, I just am, I feel so overwhelmed and filled with love. I'm a wordsmith and I don't have words for it. I really don't.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. Well, I want to recommend to everybody watching and listening, please read Life Minutes, Igniting Joy from the Fire of Heartache, a true story by Tara Heaton. This story, again, I was just blown away from the moment I started reading it. I love how you draw from your childhood experience with your dad that ignited that fire in your soul that you tapped into once this crisis began. And it's
Hmm.
just so beautifully done. I want to commend you, congratulate you, Tara, on your success, the fact that you actually did it, you put in the hard work, and now it's out in the world, touching lives you may never know about, but it will leave everybody with inspiration and just this profound message to live your life minutes with purpose, passion, and love.
Hmm.
So, any final words, Tara?
You said that so well. Yes, I have one final comment. Caution yourself because this takes intention, and I access joy through intention because I know that we cannot wait for the absence of pain to access joy. Life is now.
Mic drop.
Oh,
I have chills from that one.
you.
All
Thank you.
right, Tara. We are so proud of you here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing that you are one of our amazing authors, and we wish you the absolute best. I wish you limitless success with the book and your next book. I can't wait to read that one.
Oh,
And everybody, please, please get this. I'll put the link here. You can get it at twosisterswriting.com or anywhere books are sold online in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. It will be well worth the time and energy because you will be touched forever.
you're so kind. I do want to say one more thing because you didn't ask me, and I don't think that you would have, but I've mentioned this to you before, and if anyone out there is listening to this and they're looking for a publisher, I interviewed a lot of publishers, and they were very focused on the business, had no interest in what my book was about. And there is a place for business in writing. But when I spoke to Elizabeth Ann at Two Sisters Publishing, I knew I'd found my publisher because she put the art before the business. And I'm forever grateful for that. So I thank you so much. And my next book is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tara. When you first shared that, it blew me away because it's just my authentic passion for storytelling and sharing the stories. And that's why we started our company, to give
Yeah,
voice to amazing stories against the odd success stories like yours. And for that we appreciate you immensely and celebrate your success right along with you. So thank you for sharing that so much.
absolutely. Thank you for having me on your show. And I look forward to getting together next time.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait. Thank you, Tara. And for all of you watching, please share this with someone whose life it can touch and encourage them to buy the book as well and write a review. Invite Tara to speak or even invite her to do an interview on your own podcast because she's amazing and she's on a mission that can help all of us live better life minutes every day.
Love
All right,
that.
we will
Love
see you
that.
next time. Thank you for watching Book Talks here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing.